Welcome back, Futurists. I'm Jo, the Futurist, and this is my YouTube channel. You guys are so welcome back. Today I am in store with Sheelin, the founder of The Kind, a gorgeous lifestyle store. We're not there in person, but we are there virtually, and Sheelin is giving me a little bit of backstory on why she started her shop, how she's been dealing with taking it online and offline and online again, and she's going to talk us through some of her favourite products that she has available right now. These are all things that are sustainable, ethical, clean, and that ultimately are all about self-care and bring a little bit of joy into your life. They're all super accessible, gorgeous things that I'm really excited to see and experience. I know she's really excited to introduce you guys to it. We're also going to be running a really special competition to go with this episode, so check out my Instagram and Sheelin's. I'll let her tell you about where you can find her online. In the meantime, here's my conversation with Sheelin from The Kind. Morning, Sheelin. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. I'm great. Enjoying the sunshine on my walk in to work this morning.
It is just dreamy, isn't it? You have your coffee as well. We're like all prepped and pepped.
I do. I can't live without the morning coffee.
I know. It's so nice to be here with you this morning. I'm really excited. This is the first kind of video that I've done like this, so I'm really excited to be here with you. I can't wait to show everyone all the products that you've chosen, but let's just do like a little introduction to who you are and what you do first. So, Sheelin from The Kind.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about the store? And obviously I'm a big fan, but tell everyone what you do for maybe people who don't know.
Yeah, perfect. Well, so my name's Sheelin and I set up The Kind almost a year ago exactly to the date. So it was June last year when I first launched the website. So it's obviously been quite a journey since then. But I set up the business just a little under a year ago, just after moving back from living in Singapore. So I was away for a total of 6 years. And while I was in Singapore, I became a lot more aware of sort of environmental issues, because actually living over there, I experienced living in what was like a bonfire almost for a few months. So there was a thick haze covering the whole city. It was like crazy. I'd never even heard about this before. And then living in it and like actually having to wear face masks and things like that as well. I became a lot more aware of things like, palm oil. So it was actually due to deforestation for palm oil in Indonesia, and all of the smoke was being blown over Southeast Asia. So things like that just really weren't on my radar, I guess, before. And I also sort of saw a lot of the plastic pollution that you would be probably very familiar with now. It's become a lot more, I guess there's a lot more kind of media attention on plastic waste and, kind of how much is being shipped across to Asia and then been subsequently maybe mismanaged as well. So I became a lot more aware of that as well. And I just wanted to really set up my own business and do something that meant something to me. And that was something that sort of really resonated with me at the time. So I became a little bit more interested in doing something which would maybe like either use upcycled materials, or originally the idea was actually swimwear, but when I moved back to Ireland in the winter, I was like, this is a crazy idea. Yeah, I was kind of thoroughly depressed looking at like people in gorgeous bikinis and trying to think about, how to make that work. So on that journey, I became, I guess, more aware of different like products, more eco-friendly alternatives, started using them and, really loved them and kind of wanted to bring all of those amazing products into one place, so that people could kind of come online or in store, as I eventually did get a store, and, kind of be able to feel good about the products that they were using, both in terms of the impact that those products have on the environment, or sort of they don't have on the environment, and also kind of products that really feel like a treat for you to use as well. So yeah, so it's been quite a journey. That's kind of how I started it, and it's sort of skyrocketed I suppose, since probably November last year. I had the website at the beginning, and then in November, I managed to take over a physical store on Fade Street. Friends of mine originally were in the store, Hen's Teeth, and I took over their shop to do a pop-up shop. So it was my first Christmas in retail, my first experience in retail, and it was pretty hectic.
Full on retail in Christmas time in Ireland is like a baptism of fire.
It was a baptism of fire, but it was the best thing that really could have happened, because what I loved about it was having an opportunity to actually speak to people. So like getting immediate response from, and feedback from customers, being able to see people being happy and excited. Like, I remember one woman came in and she came across the store sort of by chance, and she was like, oh my God, you've made my day, and I was like, no one ever said that to me in my job before, So that really kind of was lovely to be able to get that immediate feedback and just have the chats actually with customers, and listen to what they wanted, what they needed, and it just kind of gave me a bit more confidence as such, and the business kind of grew from that.
So what's it been like then not having the store? Because obviously we're recording this during the pandemic, and we're in phase 1, so things are lifting a little bit, but obviously people can't shop. So are you missing that face-to-face, or has working online over the last couple of weeks been okay?
So it's been crazy really since the lockdown happened, because prior to the lockdown, I was focusing only on the store, and I wasn't really, my priority wasn't necessarily the online side of things, because it was kind of easier in store. That's where most people were kind of shopping with me. Online was kind of ticking by, but but obviously when the shop closed, I had two options really, was to kind of shut down sort of temporarily until things sort of reopened, or focus more on the online and see how that went. And I guess I've managed to overcome, first of all, my fear of kind of talking to the camera, which, was terrifying, sometimes still is a little terrifying. But I guess what I did was try and engage with my customers almost the same way as I would if they were in the store. So I've found Instagram really to be sort of the best platform, to be able to put out videos, show people the products that come in, give people a sense of what I'm doing here, showing kind of people my everyday in the shop and sort of what I'm up to. I think people do get as excited as I do when deliveries come in.
Definitely.
And so I love, I love to see sort of like what I've ordered, and sometimes like I got a gorgeous box yesterday which is full of dried lavender, and I mean the smell of that was just amazing. So being able to sort of show that as well. So I think I've managed hopefully to sort of switch into being able to still speak to people, using social media, as a lot of people are doing now. I think that's kind of becoming almost a bit of the new norm. Everyone's at home and that's how we're all connecting. So I've been quite lucky that I suppose I had the website to begin with, so I could kind of use that as a foundation, and then sort of talk to people and grow the business from there. So it's been obviously weird, but it's also been challenging in a good way. It's forced me to move out of my comfort zone.
Well, it's really cool for anyone listening to pick up on that idea of just using Instagram as like the interface, as if people were in the store. I love that idea because it is really intimidating. I find it myself. You go on, sometimes you don't know what to say, but actually if you're just talking as if you had met someone in the store or out for a coffee, that kind of takes a lot of the weight out of it. And I'm sure that is why people have connected. You have an amazing social following, so I'm sure that's why people are into it, because they just feel like you're just being yourself and doing your thing, which is awesome. I love that authenticity. And before we started recording, we were talking about how there's a lot of regression at the moment in terms of small sustainable goals that people were doing, like using their keep cup or whatever it may be. But I'm so encouraged to hear that people are really engaging with your site and investing in those things, because while maybe we're losing out on some of the more basic stuff that we had started to implement, it is great to hear that people are making the kind of changes in the lifestyle stuff that you sell. So as long as people are investing in that, I think that's actually really positive and gives me a little bit of hope that we're not totally going backwards.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand. I also think that like it's really important, for me and for everyone to not really beat yourself up. You don't want to give yourself a hard time,
Absolutely.
I don't want to feel like, we're going backwards. There is obviously, we were talking about, a lot more like coffee cups again, or like the plastic gloves and the disposable face masks. But, they are all like necessary things right now. And I totally, I'm pretty confident that like once this pandemic is over, we can sort of continue moving forward. And I think one thing that's actually been great as well is like seeing the good news stories as well, where like you see like, fish or wildlife returning to, kind of the oceans, and like there's a lot of positives, like pollution levels are down, and obviously there's not as much air traffic and things like that. So I think, hopefully we are kind of giving the kind of earth a bit of a break.
Yes.
I think there was a funny meme or something I saw, and it was saying that like, it's like we've all been sort of sent into our rooms, to think about what we've done, and
It totally feels that way. We've really been sent into our rooms.
Yes.
Yeah, you're totally right. Even the news that came out yesterday that Gucci are going to completely disregard this kind of traditional fashion calendar that had developed with so many seasons and so many drops, and they're actually just going to do their own thing. And Marc Jacobs has said the same thing. He's like, this is amazing. It gives me a chance to reset, recalibrate. So I think you're right. There's going to be like a whole shift, which is just so exciting. So it's all good. So
I hope so.
Yeah, let's get into it. We're talking loads about all the gorgeous things that you sell. So I've asked you, which I know was a really, really tough ask, just to pick out 5 of like, not your favorite, because they're all your babies, so I know you love everything equally, but 5 of kind of the items or products or brands that you're really loving at the moment that maybe you can introduce us to.
Absolutely. So I suppose one thing to say is I've started to kind of realize as well that maybe the products that I'm gravitating towards a lot at the moment are a lot of like sort of self-care products. So I think one of the things that I've noticed is that like obviously sustainability is hugely important, but I think also you do need to look after yourself, number one. So I think, if you can really kind of look after yourself, you're going to be more, I guess, inclined to want to make positive impact as such kind of on the world around you. So I think some of the products that I have are also, really feel good products. So let me show you some of those. So the first one that I have here is the Positive Wellness Journal. So this is amazing. What I love about it is it's really focused on sort of the mind, the body and the soul. And I can show you maybe a couple of little pages from it.
I love journaling. So, I honestly,
yes.
It's journaling,
all like... Yeah, journaling has just been something that's really like kind of changed me a lot over the last kind of year or two. It's so important. And this is great because it has daily intentions and evening reflections. And it just gives you, it kind of encourages you to be grateful. So like, today's positive affirmation is, and your intentions are, and then there's obviously the evening reflections as well. So you can just pick it up whenever you want, and it's undated. So you can just kind of dip in and out of it whenever you want. And there's also lots of nice little mindful exercises, like kind of colouring in or There's breathing exercises and inspirational quotes and things like that as well. So I do love an inspirational quote, you know.
Same. Bring it at me.
Full of those, yeah. So that's really nice. And I kind of would encourage, you know, anyone who hasn't maybe journaled before to maybe use something like this, because it's a little bit more guided. So you're not just starting on a blank page, you know, so you've kind of got something to work with this. So that's great. That's something that I'm using at the moment.
I love that, and it's such a great idea, because at the moment I find journaling is a great like punctuation in the day. And for anyone who's maybe finding it a little bit hard to figure out what to do with their day or how to start and finish it, it's a really, really nice one. So I love that. Really, really cool.
Yeah. Especially now, yeah, I think it's kind of important because, like, obviously, you know, everyone's on a bit of a roller coaster at the moment, so it's sort of hard sometimes, you know, to kind of navigate that. So another one that I wanted to share with you is this amazing Irish brand called Sómas. So this is a beautiful candle. I love it. I love the packaging. I love the smell. It feels super, super luxurious. These are all designed and hand poured in cork. And Sómas means calm, and also even the packaging, it's designed to be like a honeycomb. So honeycomb is supposed to be good luck as well. So I just think the detail in this is just amazing. And I guess the candles, so Margaret, who actually is behind the brand, you know, she was going through a difficult time, and she came out and selected these scents as well to help her. And again, just sort of lighting a candle for me can just create a different mood and bring that sense of calm and comfort. And all of the candles in her range are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm a big fan of these.
What scent do you have there? Which one is it?
So this one's Velvet, Peony and Oud.
Oh, Oud.
But
so good.
I'm also getting a delivery in. I've been burning the driftwood and sea salt one at home as well, which is just absolutely gorgeous. So if you can't make it to the beach, you can bring the beach into your house.
Yeah. I love them. I just finished a Woods one, which I loved. And I love them as well because there's the little glass is so gorgeous. I just use it for storage.
Exactly.
It's a really, really nice one. Sometimes when candles go, what's left is kind of a little bit grubby, but they're stunning. So love that one. That's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. You could definitely reuse that lovely black glass in your bathroom. So yeah, it looks good.
Right, so what's next on the list?
So next on the list is this absolute dream conditioner. So I was waiting over a year to be a stockist of this particular brand. It's called Wild Sage & Co. They're actually a UK brand, but I used their conditioner once over a year ago, and I have been pestering them since to be a stockist. So
wow.
It's a small enough little jar, but it goes a long way, and the smell of this is absolutely mind-blowing. So it's got my two favourite scents, which is lavender and geranium, and it uses a broccoli seed oil as well. So it's really, really nourishing on your hair. It wouldn't be, well, it doesn't have to be an everyday conditioner. It could be if you want to treat yourself every day. But I do find that this one's kind of like a deep conditioner. And honestly, just using it, again, makes me feel like I'm really kind of looking after myself, and it's a treat, and it's glass. With an aluminium lid as well, and all natural ingredients, so that's a winner for me.
I've never even heard of them. I need to go and find them on Instagram. That sounds dreamy.
Yeah, it's dreamy. They've got lovely products, so that's a good one.
Gorgeous.
Another one which I think is quite relevant to the lockdown right now, and something everyone is missing, is their nails. I know you are.
Well, now I have to say, my nails are always like, I just gave up getting my nails done. I used to be such a shellac fiend, and I loved having them really done, and I did all the colours and everything. And then I just obviously moved away from that. So like, obviously I love getting a manicure and just leaving them bare, but I mean, like, I really can't blame the lockdown. My nails are always a bit of a mess, and I have a couple of friends who just have the most stunning hands, and I can always see their eyes just looking down. So yeah, please bring any help that you have. What have you got to help me?
So I've got a range of nail colours in. It's from a company called Zao, so that's a few of them there.
Gorgeous colours. Oh yeah, you've got that one on. Beautiful. That's like a coral kind of.
Coral, exactly. I love coral. So I've got, lots of different colours. They're all really nice. They're really fun colours, and they're free from 10 toxic ingredients that you would normally find in nail polishes. So again, I was, a fan of kind of getting my nails done. But yeah, there was definitely a moment where I think when I was getting maybe the gel removed, and you see them scratching off essentially like plastic from your nails, and you're like, that's probably not biodegradable. So this is great, and it seems to be so far quite long lasting. Obviously, I'm ripping open boxes every day, so there's a good chance of my nails getting chipped. But I think that's like a nice, again, a nice sort of treat, and also something that maybe a lot of people aren't aware of. Your nails are obviously very porous, and I wasn't sure, about kind of the amount of chemicals that go into your sort of standard nail polishes. So it's nice to kind of have an alternative and it's got a little bamboo lid as well, which is cute. So it's nice to have an alternative.
Yeah, and what I love about that is that I've seen other brands, but the colours are all very muted and neutral and a bit drab, and when you paint it on, they're almost translucent. So I guess this is always the problem, is like, how do you make the swap and then still have the kind of boost and enjoyment of whatever product you're using? But those colours look great, so that's really exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. And then the last product is I guess this has been getting a lot of attention on Instagram, and rightly so. These gorgeous cups from Maca Ceramics.
I'm obsessed with them. I was literally looking at them last night trying to justify how I can add more cups to my collection. I just love the shape. Tell me all about them.
They're gorgeous. So I just love the design. They've got a lovely big handle on them, and I suppose again it's sort of the products that I've chosen are ones that, this is obviously a locally made brand as well. So they're kind of products that I like that sort of cheer up my everyday. So, maybe having a nice cup of coffee out of this beautiful mug, using my journal, lighting a candle, admiring my nice nail polish. But these are all things that I guess I've been kind of gravitating towards, and they're just a gorgeous brand, and I think they're definitely one to watch. They're going to be bringing out, I think, a lot more interesting work as well once they can get back into the studio. So this is a beautiful Irish brand that I'm proud to support as well.
And such a gorgeous gift. Like, I find at the moment it's so hard with people's birthdays and stuff. Obviously, you're having to just choose something and have it shipped to them. So that's a gorgeous gift idea as well. And I totally agree with you. I think it's really amazing that all those tiny, tiny things are now like the greatest sources of joy for us at the moment. Like, they can make the difference between having a really good day and having a got through it day. So
exactly, yeah. And I think that's something that I really wanted, kind of from all of the products that I have in store. And it was something that I didn't, maybe sort of going back to what I was saying, was like it wasn't really something that I was that aware of until maybe more recently. But like even something as small as like a very nice bamboo toothbrush. So I've got like, beautiful bamboo toothbrushes in store. They've been won design awards. So they're really pretty to look at. And obviously they have a positive impact on the environment as well. So even just starting and finishing my day with using something like so simple as a toothbrush can just make me be a bit more mindful about, the products that I'm using, or just feeling a little bit better about sort of my impact as well in the world.
Totally. And you're right, there's no point unless you feel really good about using it, and it really does come down to self-care. I think anything to do with sustainability actually comes down to self-care and looking after yourself and giving your body and mind the absolute best that it can, while also not impacting too much around you. I really want to ask you, it kind of goes back to before what we were chatting about, but when you were saying that when you were living abroad and suddenly you had all these different kind of events happening around you in terms of the plastic and the smog and all that kind of stuff, do you think if you hadn't been in the path of all that stuff, do you think you would have been as eager to change. Do you think you would have gotten into this anyway, I guess I'm wondering, or do you think it really was down to seeing the effects? Because for some countries they're seeing the effects now, other countries aren't going to see the effects as closely for another 10 or 20 years. So I'm just really curious to know. I know that's what spurred you on, but
it's a tricky one really, because I suppose I suppose it's one of those things where I feel like everything would have led me here eventually. I hope anyway. But I think I was kind of lucky, I suppose, to experience those really eye-opening events before, and kind of experience them firsthand, because obviously it was just around that time that really there was a real focus on, kind of the impact that we're having on the climate and climate action, and Greta Thunberg was just really starting to strike around the time that I was starting to look into more sort of sustainable alternatives. So I guess I was quite lucky that I felt like I was kind of suddenly being led down this kind of path, and everything was pointing me in this direction of like, this is what you need to be doing. But it's hard to know. It's almost that kind of sliding doors moment, isn't it? Like, totally. You kind of wonder how things would have been if you didn't end up sort of making a certain decision or going a certain direction. So, but I do like to think, I actually had, I put up a post recently on Instagram, just kind of like introducing myself a little, and it was actually so lovely. One comment in particular stood out, and it was from a company called Polly and Andy, and they just said to me, they were like, I think you were made for kind of where you are now. You're in the right place, you know what I mean? You're doing the right thing. And it was just lovely. It just really kind of stuck with me. I was like, yes, great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so glad you went down that road. It's working out for all of us. It's great.
Yeah.
It's nice things to shop. So if people want to shop those products and also just check you out, where can they find you, Sheelin?
So you can go online. My website is www.thekind.co. And we will see how business returns on Fade Street. At the moment, I'm not in any sort of crazy rush, to kind of reopen. But what I am offering is a pickup service. So you can still order online, and if you are in town, in the vicinity, then you can collect from in store. So I think that's just the safest way at the moment to kind of continue operating.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I love the click and collect. That's really handy, because if you're going to be in town anyway, you can just swing by, get all your goodies.
And it saves me packaging.
I honestly, you must just live in the post office. I don't even want to imagine. It must be crazy. Well, it's so good to chat to you today, and hopefully this will be the first of many little in-stores we'll do until we can actually come into the store and hang out with you there. But in the meantime, Sheelin, thank you so much for sharing, and see you online.
Yes, thanks so much. I'll chat to you soon. Thank you.